Good afternoon, all. We are doing this today. It's normally 11 a.m. in the morning, but it was my daughter's sports morning, so so we changed the date to 1 o'clock. So if you have managed to make it, great. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got my admin person on the other end typing right now, making sure it's okay, because we had an issue last week where I was talking away and apparently I wasn't live. So hopefully I am live on LinkedIn. Touch wood, I'm not too sure. Yes, it's on. There you go. So we can get going. Well, everyone, thank you for attending. For those that don't know who I am, my name is James. I'm the founder of Rupert. Rupert is your 24/7 social media assistant. We are really trying to help brands extract more value from the comments section, which I believe brands are leaving so much on the table when it comes to the comments, especially when you're spending so much across your paid and organic socials. And that's it, not just across Meta, that's across all total platforms. So every week we give a quick 10, 12-ish minutes, just some ideas on how you can get more value from that comment section, and also some tips for you to take away and implement for free. So this week we are analysing social media feedback for businesses, for business insights, turning social media comments into actionable data for your marketing strategy. Now, we know we all have data, but I believe that there's actually sometimes too much data for us as marketing and brands, and I think that we need to actually sometimes just park some of that and actually just look at customer feedback and actually reverse engineer that into our businesses. Every week, I like to start with a stat, and this week's stat is, if my little trigger is working, there we go, is 70% of shoppers have used social media at least once to sort out a problem with an online order. We know that people now flock online, and they flock online to make complaints, to ask customer service questions. That is more prevalent than ever. And the reason for that is that it's not a one-to-one conversation anymore. We as consumers want a one-to-many. We want to make sure that when we're having a bit of a moan or we've got a question, that it's not just being seen by the brand, it's being seen by many of their audience as well. And the reason for that is that we as consumers think that they're going to get back to us quicker. That's not always the case, but that is the reality. So if you're a brand that are receiving customer service questions across your socials and you're not responding, just be conscious that the amount of people that are doing it is a large percentage of your customer base, and unfortunately that's not going to decrease. I believe that's going to increase in the near future. Here's an example. So I like to give a few examples of brands that I see do some good stuff and some bad stuff. This one's an interesting one with Good to Go Insurance. You'll see that actually Jill is making a bit of a complaint, but also saying that I bet they're going to filter out these comments, these negative comments, because this is paid. This is actually a sponsored ad. So where I see most brands failing when it comes to the comment section is the ones that are running paid media. They're either neglecting the comments entirely or they turn the comments off. I won't go into too much detail, but if you're turning the comments off, you're going to lose confidence. The stats show that brands that turn the comments off, when a consumer sees it, they don't feel like they are really trustworthy. But you'll see this particular one, although Jill's had a moan, the brand has actually gone back to them, which is great. But what's really interesting, like I said just then, is that actually Jill is making a comment to say that I bet you're going to filter this comment out, which is interesting. So again, if you are receiving comments on your socials and you're not responding, or you're just filtering out the bad, just be conscious that, as Jill here, they're cotton onto it. The consumers are really understanding now how to use social, and that's not just the younger demographic, that's also the older age, especially here in the UK. So analysing social media feedback for business insights. I'm a massive believer in this, and I think more and more brands need to just listen rather than tell. I think we as brands need to listen, especially as marketing teams, because we like to talk. So discovering customer preferences. So social media feedback is a gold mine. I believe there's tons of it for understanding what your audience likes about your business, but also what it dislikes, which isn't a bad thing sometimes. And I think we should actually be sentiment analyzing, should I talk, those raw comments into actually meaningful data, really to help align things like product development, market adoption, customer service, what actually your services are. And also from a marketing perspective, reverse engineering that for content. Because if people are asking you the same question day in, day out, well, why not actually tell that story or answer that question in content so that people aren't answering that? And I think there's that's for me, that's really important data and really valuable data, not only sales opportunities, but actually data for us as marketing teams and brand owners then to, like I said, to reverse engineer to get people really understanding your product more. So hopefully they can buy it quicker and buy more of it. The second one is identifying trends and opportunities. The comment section can often reveal emerging trends or potentially unmet needs in your brand or your business. And for me, I would categorize feedback to highlight potentially those key patterns. That is going to give your brand, your business, a bit of a competitive edge in actually addressing these early rather than waiting and then addressing them. So again, really, really good opportunity there. The third one, if I can talk to say, is improving marketing ROI. There are, I'm going to say millions, because in the UK there will be, millions of pounds sat in the comment section, opportunities that are not being responded to. I actually sent one to a friend, an agency friend of mine who I know, he runs the accounts for a diamond business. And I was having a look at the diamond business, not because I'm going to buy one, but I saw that there was a really nice diamond ring on this ad, and someone just put how much? ? 2 weeks that comment had been sat there, and I just sat going, wow, what an opportunity there. Now, were they converted? I don't know, but I genuinely believe there is so much opportunity sat in the comment section, which unfortunately is being neglected. Not only in terms of improving our ROI because of the opportunities, but actually just allocating budget towards ads and content that's working. You know, we as marketing teams, as brand owners now, we're so data rich, and we're looking at hold rates, hook rates on our ads, and you know, typically we'll go towards and we'll put more budget towards those ads which we would class as performing. But if you've got an ad that's working really well based on hook rates and hold rates, CPMs are low, click-through rates great, but it's converting okay. But then you've got an ad over here which is, let's say, performing 80% of the one that's working, but you're getting hundreds of comments and we're neglecting them. Well, what if that 20% dip in performance, or what we would say is a dip in performance, is actually within the comments, but actually we're exceeding the 20% because there's people asking questions, there may be sales opportunities in there. Again, I think there's massive improvement in marketing ROI when it comes to actually looking at these comments and actually reverse engineering them, not only for opportunities, but like I said earlier, about actually content, loads of different stuff, which we'll go into in a second. So all that's great, but turning social media comments into actionable data for your marketing strategy, how do we do it? So, well, here's 3 tips. And again, every tip we give, or I give, should I say, is free. Obviously, you can use Rupert. Rupert does a lot of this stuff for you. And for 89 quid a month, it's going to work really, really well. But for those that don't have that, here are some tips to take away. So the first one is set up feedback categories. So if you're using, for example, Meta for your ads at the moment, or your organic, and that's the main channel that you're using for acquisition, and you're getting comments, my recommendation would be to categorize those into different themes or buckets. It might be customer service, sales opportunities, positive feedback, complaints, trolling, spamming. And then actually what you can do then is it's going to be easy for you to then start looking at maybe the positives or the sales opportunities and actually responding to those and actually understand them more, giving you actual insights, opposed to just a load of comments in your Meta Business Suite, which half of them you can't find because they're paid ads. So I would definitely set up a feedback categories based on the comments. And actually then, like I've said in the previous videos, which is then how you respond to those based on the category they sit in. The second one is track sentiment over time. So if you're getting a certain type of feedback today, look if you're getting that feedback in 3 or 4 months' time, or even a few weeks' time. and actually start understanding why has potentially that changed. If you're not getting that feedback in 10, 12 weeks time about, let's say, product, well, is that because we've fixed the issue with the product, or is it because we're explaining it better in our comms? Is it because something else has changed in the business? But start tracking it over time, and you'll really see, well, hopefully you'll see some evolution in your brand to say that, well, actually, we used to get loads of questions around bad delivery, which is a customer service question, but actually we've not had many delivery issues or comments around delivery issues. Well, great, that because you may have changed provider, you may have changed courier, whoever that may be. But again, start looking at that sentiment over time, because actually you can start evaluating, not just from a marketing perspective, but actually from a business perspective. Why has that changed? Have we done something different in the business? Well, actually, you made a conscious effort to change something, and it's made a change, which would be great. The third thing is share insights across entire teams. Big believer of this. I think that, social media feedback or the comment section isn't just for marketing. I think it should be passed to the wider team. It might be going to product development team, customer service, sales, SLT. This is true feedback. This is which I would class as true data. Someone is typing in their own time and giving you, as a brand, feedback. It might not be always welcomed, but they're insights that you would normally have to pay for. We should be using this, but again, we shouldn't just be harboring it within the marketing department. We should be passing it across the entire business, because yes, it's not data as such, but that is a data-driven approach, which is going to pull your brand forward. And again, there's going to be so much good, valuable insights for your brand, which can, like I said, can be moved across all teams, or can be used across all teams. So they're my 3 tips for today. Again, you could take those away and hopefully action some of those. It'd be great to hear you get on. Here's an example of, again, value. So you'll see here that this was Jaguar. I've put them in a few of my presentations over the last few months since the rebrand. But there's, so even this, although it didn't go well, the rebrand, there's some really good insights if you look within their comments. Now, obviously, Jaguar have a bit of an issue, which is they received absolute shed loads of comments. So they're probably not your typical business to look at. But if they were to really look at that and take away all the trolling and spam type, I bet there's some really loyal customers there who've been Jaguar owners for some time that are giving you some genuine feedback. But that's where you need to find it. And which is, again, you're using tools like Rupert will help sift through that, because obviously when you receive a vast amount of comments, it's very, very difficult to keep on top, especially unfortunately across Meta, because unfortunately Meta Business Manager isn't fantastic just for helping you keep on top of your comments. So that's my quick presentation. I'm going to open up the floor to any questions. So if you do have any, or if anyone is watching, type away and I will answer. If you can't think of any and you want something answered after this, pop me a message on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to respond and hopefully get back to you. The session next week, it won't be 11 a.m. on Wednesday. I am going to let you guys know when it will be. So just bear with me on that one. But it's going to be building a community around your brand through social media engagement. Now, there's some really, really good examples of brands that are doing this at the moment. And a big shout out, actually, in sort of something I'm quite involved in, is running. So the first one is Pure Sport. Pure Sport are building a community, and they've built a very loyal community around social media engagement. And it's done so well. They're growing. You may have seen them in London Marathon, what they've done there in terms of their marketing. It was fantastic. Also, GB Ultras, who are a race group who run what's the word I'm trying to say? Who run ultra races around the country. And again, they've built a really, really engaged community. And they, all the races now are booked out within the first few hours of them going live. Brilliant. And they're 2 brands that I really want to highlight because they've done some fantastic work over the last few years. And GB Ultra is very different because it's obviously a very different product to Pure Sport. And Pure Sport, obviously, as I've mentioned, then they did some really cool stuff at London Marathon. They're getting a bit of some really good PR. But GB Ultras is one I think a lot of brands could look at and take some really valuable insights from. So I'll run through a bit of those as well for you next week. And that's the end of my presentation. Now, what I have been doing over the last few weeks is giving you an example of a brand who's been using Rupert and actually presenting this to you. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to share my screen again, if that is okay. And I'm going to give you just 2 quick minutes of a brand. Yeah, here you go. Of a brand that's using Rupert. Just give you an idea now. All of this is going to change in the next couple of weeks because we are having a massive update next week, which is really exciting. But what you'll see is this actually customer here is a garden centre. It's the different one that I showed you the last week. This one is on the free trial stage. Now, the last 7 days, let's do the last 30 days. Rupert's quarantined 3 comments for them, which is great. So if they get any negative publicity, Rupert will hide the comment in real time, just giving the brand time to respond. They have had, in total, they've had about, just under 20 comments, 14 positive, 3 negative, which are the ones that Rupert's quarantined, and 2 neutral. And what's great here is that they've actually responded to 3 using Rupert's AI, which is really, really interesting. So again, just showing you there another business that's using Rupert. You don't need a vast amount of comments to use a tool like Rupert or actually get the value out of the comments. You'll see this brand here is getting probably 100 a month, give or take, and they're still seeing the value in Rupert, which is really, really important. But again, every week I'll just give you a quick example of a brand that's using Rupert. And again, like I said, this is a small gardening centre just outside of London. Well, that is the end of the comment section this week. I will let you guys know what time and day next week we're going to be going live. But of course, any questions, please let me know. And if you are watching, thank you for watching.